In the headlines, Deputies of Cần Thơ City People's Council and the People's Councils of the districts contacted voters in many localities. Leader of Cần Thơ City met with 9 investors on the implementation and disbursements of the 2022 Public Investment Capital Plan. Nearly 14,000 test takers entered the first days of the 10th grade high school entrance exam for the 2022-2023 school year in Cần Thơ City. Hello, it's great to see you back here in this edition of Cần Thơ News and Top News Today. On June 7 morning, Standing Vice Secretary of Cần Thơ Municipal Party Committee, cum Chairman of Cần Thơ City People's Council Phạm Văn Hiếu, and other members of the deputy groups of Cần Thơ City and Ninh Kiều district met with voters in the 2 wards of An Bình and Hưng Lợi. Voters highly value the reports on the socio-economic situation in the first half of the year and the task for the last 6 months of 2022, as well as the expected agenda of the 6 regular mid-year sections in 2022 of the 10th Cần Thơ City People's Council for the 2021-2026 term, which is to take place on July 6th. In addition, voters also asked the cities to announce the implementation time of the projects so that people can rest assured, avoiding delays that affect people's lives. Those projects include Zone 1 and 2 of An Bình New Urban Area Planning Project invested by Đài Phát Company, the Chương Embankment Project, which was built too slowly, causing difficulties for people's travel and daily life, among other suggestions related to road upgrade and environmental pollution handling. Voters also suggested that competent agencies need to consider adjusting or having a policies for the payment of drugs outside the health insurance drug list and high-tech healthcare techniques for children and people with meritorious services, and that the tourism industry continues to research and come up with specific instruction for people to get involved in tourism activities at Garang Floating Market. Vice Secretary of Cần Thơ Municipal Party Committee, cum Chairman of Cần Thơ City People's Council Chương, and other members of the deputy groups of Cần Thơ City and Ninh Kiều district met with voters of An Cư, Thời Bình and Cái Khế wards before the mid-year sections on June 7th morning. The Politburo has promulgated Resolution number 59 on building and developing Cần Thơ City to 2030 with a vision to 2045. The National Assembly also had Resolution number 45 on piloting some special mechanisms and policies for developing Cần Thơ City. Voters regarded these as both an opportunity and a challenge for the city. The implementation of works and projects that have been and will be implemented is essential for making use of the resolutions. However, in the first 5 months of the year, the disbursement rate is still very low. Voters paid special attention to this work and would like to know the handlings of the units with a low disbursement rate. Chairman of Cần Thơ City People's Committee Chương briefed about the socio-economic recovery and development of Cần Thơ City after the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as measures to boost economic development. Regarding public investment work, he informed that the projects and works with slow progress, especially those backed by ODA capital in Cần Thơ City, like the constructions of Hoàng Quốc Việt Road, Trần Hoàng Na Bridge and Cần Thơ River Embankment System, has been identified with the causes of lateness, and their construction shall be sped up in time to come. A meeting with voters before the 6 sections of Cần Thơ City People's Council and the 5th sections of Thốt Nốt District People's Council at 9 wards in the district also took place on June 6th. At the function, voters of the ward suggested additional attentions to the work of ID card and health insurance card issuance, the prices of agricultural materials, the investment in the construction and repair of roads, the acceleration in mobilization work so that people collect and dispose trash as stipulated, the handling of wastewater disposal at Huỳnh Châu residential zone, and the relocation of the slaughterhouse. The People's Council deputies recorded voters' proposals and informed them that they will forward them to competent agencies for resolution. On the same day, the deputies of Cần Thơ City People's Council and Ô Môn District People's Council contacted voters in Truyền ward. Voters suggested that the land leveling on Provincial Road number 922, the section on Cái Hồ Canal, was affecting the transport of agricultural products. People also asked for support policies for local mass organization titles, support in pricing and consumption of agricultural products, as well as orientations for agriculture development in time to come. In other news, the projects that are unable to disburse their capital must transfer it immediately. That was the request made by Vice Chairman of Cần Thơ City People's Committee Nguyễn Thực Hiện at the meeting with 9 investors who are department, sectors and the People's Committee of Bình Thuận District on the implementation and disbursements of the 2022 Public Capital Investment Plan. The public investment capital of the city in 2022 of 610 billion Vietnam dong has been allocated to 9 offices and units with a disbursement rate of over 15%, in which the disbursement rate of the city stood at 8% and of the districts at over 37%. The investor informed the meeting about the difficulties and obstacles related to investment procedures and ground clearance work, at the same time committed to focusing on overcoming shortcomings and resolving issues to accelerate progress and strive for the year-end disbursement rate of 95% and over. Vice Chairman of Cần Thơ City People's Committee Nguyễn Thực Hiện noted that by June 30th, the investor that have a disbursement rate lower than the national average disbursement rate must take responsibility for the latest. For in-progress and newly started projects, investors should take extra care of the resettlement work for the households undergoing land revocation. He also assigned the Department of Planning and Investment to transfer the capital of the projects that cannot be disbursed. On June 7th morning, nearly 14,000 test takers entered the first days of the 10th grade high school entrance exam for the 2022-2023 school year. Over 99% of test takers sat the exam. According to the test takers, the math paper adhered closely to the secondary school curriculum, especially content of grade 9. Yet the paper is highly classifying and requires both practical knowledge and quick calculating skills. Test takers sat the foreign language exam on June 7th afternoon. At all 28 exam councils, competent forces coordinated closely to ensure security, order, and safety for the exam. No violation was recorded during the time that the exam took place. This is the 6th year that Cần Thơ City organized the 10th grade entrance exam for all 28 public high schools in the city. Over 106,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccines remained in Cần Thơ City. This piece of information was announced at a meeting to check the vaccination work against COVID-19 organized by the City People's Committee on the afternoon of June 7th. In the remaining doses of COVID-19 vaccines, there are 106,000 Pfizer doses and 500 Moderna doses for the second vaccine shots for children aged 5 to under 12. Along with that, according to competent agencies of the city, there are 166,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccine with the frost expiration date on June 30th. If drastic actions are not taken, there's a chance that these vaccines are not used up. To timely administer vaccines to people while waiting for the vaccine distribution decisions of Cần Thơ City, the city's CDC has provisionally accepted and partly distributed the vaccines for the district and urged localities to accept vaccines to carry out vaccination for people. As of now, the city has given 2,916,247 shots of COVID-19 vaccines. On June 6, the Department of Employment under the Ministry of Labor, Invalids and Social Affairs informed that it is researching and suggesting the implementation of electronic employment records, which are associated with the population database. The electronic employment record is associated with a personal identification code, shall connect job demands on the market and helps competent agencies implement urgent support packages for laborers. Accordingly, the electronic employment record will store data of the entire employment progress, qualifications, and the movement of all laborers in the market and is represented as a QR code. When accepting a laborer, the employer only needs to scan the code to access the information. In addition to that, information about the laborers is updated on the system so that employers can easily search for people to their demands. Job seekers also receive information about various companies to choose from. And now let's have a look at the updated weather forecast. Weather information has also wrapped up this edition of Cần Thơ News. To watch our bulletins one more time, you can log on to our website at kentv.vn. And now, thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye and see you next time.